In this episode, we answer a lot of questions from Patreons and some random newbies. Questions like, what would happen if we switched genitalia? Spoiler alert, I'd get straight on my back and tell people to shove it in. Question from newbies is, bareback sex, would you have it? And what would be the repercussions if you wound up with the disease? We talk about all of that and what you would do, but we do not talk about abortions. Just watch me. All right, Lauren, we have started. Here we are again, sitting in our same old studio. We did not get a new studio.
We didn't get a new studio, but we got some state-of-the-art equipment
that we don't know how to use. We didn't get a brand new state-of-the-art studio, and I blame that on our Patreons. What do you call them?
Evangelicals?
An evangelical. Get that hat out and put that money in that hat.
It's time to pass the tray, people.
Pass that tray. Put that money in. You want to see us in a state-of-the-art studio, don't you? You want to go to heaven?
That's right. There's nothing that's going to get you into that heaven faster than you taking your panties off or entering those pockets. I don't know what it is.
We get a studio and you get thousands of virgins.
Can you imagine?
That's
what our church would be.
That's how our religion works.
That's it.
Our religion works like this. We have a complaint. There was an altar boy who has a complaint. Yeah, they're fair game here. Mm-hmm. That's how that works. To be honest, what he was wearing was very provocative.
He was wearing pants and a white button down.
He's a man now. Let's all be proud. Speaking of defiled children, we are talking about newbies and questions. Finally,
yes,
getting around to that podcast that we promised and over again and finishing those questions. But we have a wonderful surprise.
Tell me, Richard, you didn't tell me we had a surprise.
That's a surprise. That's why I didn't tell you. I brought two wonderful newbies here who are young, fun, and eager to come.
Oh, that sounds like a bad spring break t-shirt.
Young, fun, and looking to come.
Still a bad spring break.
Young, hung, and want some.
Oh, that's better. I like it. I'm
it's
okay
a workshop. But they have a lot of questions. They're always hitting us up. And they're like, hey, when can you guys have sex? And we're like, hey, slow down. You know, just come into it. Dip your toes in a little bit.
Right.
We'll get there. Mm-hmm. Send us some nude pics. Because that's how we roll. But no, we actually became friends with these people. They are slightly new. They've had some experiences. We're going to allow them to talk on their own. They don't have a microphone just yet. We would love to get them one.
If our Patreons help.
Again, thank you. Hello. Go look at our Amazon list. We should really get an Amazon list.
That would be amazing. I need to put that.
So we'll ask them a few questions, and then they have a question or two for us that we're going to answer, and we're going to weave those in with all the Patreon questions that we never got around to airing because our life was so busy educating the rest of the world under ASA regulations.
It's so hard being an ASA member.
It really is, Lauren, but we do it for the people. Mm-hmm. And
it's a sacrifice.
This is why we are allowed to operate as a nonprofit. All right, so first we're going to go over to the Patreons, and this picks up to where we were talking about the difference between boys and girls and their parts. Well, not actually just their parts, but how the man
thinks differently.
How the man thinks differently than the female. Now, I tend to think that this is very topical right now with all this trans thing going on and pronouns and everything going on. Not that this was meant to touch on any trans topic or transphobic or anything like that. It's not. But it is something to think about after hearing it back. I was like, oh yeah, there is a lot to say about people talk about trans in sports. They talk about trans. What is it to say about changing the male mind and the wiring of a male mind, which is one of the things that I bring up here about literally changing the parts. Now, if you transition into a woman, that is something that I actually have absolutely no problem with. If you switch parts and you become a woman, hey man or woman, congratulations, we had a girl. Happy day. Oh, it's a new business I'm going into.
Sure.
I'm having adult reveal parties. So this is the thing that we start talking about is if I just take off my junk, right? What happens? And I remove it and I put in a vagina.
You're still thinking the same way.
My brain remains the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is one of the things that we're talking about here is how the female brain, generally speaking, is wired and how the male brain is genuinely wired. And we're not making a statement for all women, for all men. Well, listen to you. You'll know what we're talking about. Women, can you explain how cerebral you are compared to men?
I agree.
I think there's two things. But for men are mostly visual, sexual people.
Yes.
And so it's very easy. If you're hot, which is great. Not everyone's like that. And that's cool. For myself, I don't even know what I'm attracted to because it can be very situational.
Right.
Like if someone is really funny or if I make an emotional connection with.
I was talking to Lauren here today that if men and women were able to just switch genitalia, don't switch anything else, just bottom genitalia. You get to keep your boobs. For a day, I have a vagina, Lauren has a penis, and you put us by at an event or at a Desire or a Hedo or whatever. There is no doubt within minutes, I'm spreading my legs, telling anyone to stick their penis in. Within seconds. I'm just like, fuck me, just stick it in. I don't care. Stick it in me. But there's a big difference between that attitude and a female. There's something very different. I often wonder what it is. I don't know why it exists in a female like that. I mean, they're not all. I'm generalizing here. Of course, there are a lot of women who can just open up. Open up. Forgive the pun. There is a difference. And what I'm saying is I want a vagina. Here's something that I want you to work on. This is hard. Ladies, please sit down. All right. Good job. You're all sitting down.
Can I just add one point that it was like...
Fine, Lauren, take over. You've done all the talking already.
Like the part where it was like the guy saying, making the coming the goal of sex is when the guys are approaching the couple and whoever, I guess I say guys, but they're like, I'm the best at oral. I'm the best at this. I am so good at this. I'm so good at that. Don't do that anymore because you can tell your things that are flirty, but when you say, like, I've had someone be like, I am the best at oral. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not always like just down for just laying there in a foursome and having someone go down and give me oral for like, okay, I want to move around and do other things. I don't want to dedicate 20 minutes to your awesome oral experience.
I give way more credit to women. For me, when I meet a woman, or I think when women meet men, there is no doubt in my mind that as soon as they meet a man, within a 5-minute period or less, they know they're going to fuck you or not. They know if they're going to lay down with you or not.
Yeah.
The decision is made. Whether you are selling, whether how your tongue works or not, is just a waste of fucking energy.
Well, and it also signs me up for an experience that like, I don't necessarily want to, if the play is happening in a different way and it's organically moving in a different way, I may just like, I may want to go down on her and focus on that for a while and not have
so
you
you're just telling the man to just stop saying it.
Well, no, it's not even about just oral, but it's like when you put something on the table like that, I feel like you're writing the script of how the play is going to go. And it's like, I am the best at, I'm just using oral because it's a popular one. It's like, okay, great. If it goes that way and it happens, then great. I will experience it. But I don't like having things where then you're like,
what do you like to hear? Do you like to hear, because this is something I like to say. It's just hear me out. Keep your mind open. I'm going to lick your asshole for 10 minutes just to let you know what your pussy's in for.
Great line. Solid.
Yeah.
Have you been working on that? Yeah. I mean, because
yeah.
It's good stuff, Richard.
Thanks. Thank you.
Everything else except that line.
Yeah. All right. So let's just settle that they should.
Can I jump in?
Yes. Someone help me.
So I think what Lauren might be saying is for a woman, how a man makes us feel is very attractive for us. Where for guys, you guys are very visual. You like seeing the boobies and all that good stuff, which is hot and awesome. And we like to see a hot man, but we also like to hear what you're going to do to us in a nice way. Not, I'm the best at licking.
Even the asshole. I mean, whatever. Pick a hole, pick an orifice. It's not really important, right?
But tell me gently what you're going to do to me. Make me laugh. Ask me about myself. Those are things that get me going.
I agree.
I think she is the new co-host of Room 77.
It's great. I'm out.
Yeah, you are so.
No, it's Lauren and I. Richard's out.
Yeah. Oh, even better. Oh my God. Oh, this is wonderful.
We should do one.
That's a show I'd watch. I'm just saying.
I'm in.
We should do one though. Seriously.
Naked.
Because I don't
we could do it naked.
Yes. And it'll be like for people who like boobs and for people who want
like vaginas,
mosquito bites, and then they'll pan to me.
Stop putting down your breast. Why do you always put down your
boobs?
I like my always boobs. Say that.
I like your boobs, Lauren. I love little boobs.
Yeah, I
nothing.
That sentence never ends with penises.
So we have Ian J. Ian J. wanted to chime in on something.
Oh, go on.
I just want to piggyback off the Kate, but going off of that, sometimes when you hear guys that say, I'm the best at this, or I'm really good at that, sometimes it can kind of come off a little arrogant.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see what you got. And then it's like, that was it.
Yeah, I feel I agree with that. I agree with that. It's like, I would never say something like that because then I'm like, first of all, I'm like, did your wife tell you that? Because I don't know. I just would never set myself up. I agree with that. I don't think that that's something that people got to hear that.
Unless it's like,
that.
I'm really good at massages. I would be like, oh, that would so be.
Yeah, I got good hands. I got, that's something that's attractive to hear.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
I'd hear that.
Good. But wait, I think it's part of my thing is like, because I'm using the example of oral, it's like I'm being taken out of the foursome. I can't have someone be giving me oral and me be doing something else because I can't focus on those two spots at the same time. I know that sounds really strange, but I have to be completely focused if someone's giving me oral to enjoy the pleasure of it. Otherwise, if I'm blowing and someone's giving me oral, my mind goes straight to blowing because that supersedes for me. Like, I'm enjoying this so much more. And they could be down there for like 15 minutes, like, hello, hi. I've been down, like my tongue is sore as fuck and you're just, slobbering because you're blowing some guys.
I'm going to move on.
You're going to move on.
Yeah. Mr. Newbie and Mrs. Newbie, how are you? We're looking at you on Zoom right now.
All the way in Iowa.
I'm quite surprised even has internet.
I didn't know Zoom worked there.
Might I say to our listener, you both look amazing. Your lighting right now is showing off a lot of definition in both of your bodies. Yeah. Am I right, Lauren? Like they just look like they've been sculpted.
I know.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio. No, that can't be the right artist.
I don't think. I mean, he may sculpt stuff. Who knows? He does everything else.
You're allowed to laugh. Whenever people come on here,
I
see them laughing. And
they're like throwing stuffing socks.
Trying to stifle my laughter.
I'll just cut you out. If it gets annoying, I'll just cut you out. I have the capability on this side. Yeah, we're not recording on that cassette tape anymore. So how are you guys?
Hey, we're doing great.
We're awesome.
You look awesome. Lauren, why don't you ask them how many sessions they've had? That's what we call them in the lifestyle sessions, play sessions.
Well, how long have you been in the lifestyle time wise? Let's start with that.
Right around 5 months.
Oh, damn. Within those 5 months, how many times have you gotten naked with another couple?
Person. Let's keep it a
someone
human
outside
being.
your marriage.
Someone in this species.
We're going to have to count here.
Shit.
It's not that many. It's like 7 or 8.
Let's say 8.
Between 7 and 10.
Okay, so we asked
between 7 and 10. Now, does that count couples? Because we're doubling up with couples. Like a couple counts as 2. So would it be 2, 4, 6? Or are we talking about Are we talking about 7 couples?
We've actually only played with couples.
Yes.
Oh, 2 couples we
7
played
sessions.
Twice. 2 couples we played twice with, plus the 1, 2, 3,
7, 8, 9, 10.
seven or eight sessions, and some of them have been repeats.
Okay.
Great. Thanks for summing that up.
Good. And this is full swappy?
One was a soft swap.
But the soft swap wasn't first. You jumped in full swap.
Correct.
Way to go. We'll be right back.
All right, Lauren, really quick, let's pause and tell everybody to go to Patreon and support us. And don't ask them, tell them to do it. Tell them why it's important.
All right. Go to
And use your bleeding heart voice.
go to
No, not that bleeding heart.
Okay. No, go to patreon.com/room77 because we are still unsearchable because it's that good over there. And when you do that, you can join up for $5, better than a coffee. You get access to basically just becoming part of the family. You're constantly involved in our lives. You have direct access to us. It's a great family that has a Telegram chat that is nonstop.
And you're supporting us. Now, again, I'm going to say this. I've said it before. I look at the numbers all the time. Everybody's listening. It's the same amount of people, but less people are giving to Patreon. That's just how the numbers are working. Now, we understand that times are tough out there, but they're tough for us too. So you're still listening, but we're having a harder time. So it's a tougher time giving you the entertainment and all the fun. What we've done is we've gone to the lowest common denominator, sex and nudity. And what we've done is we've got more sex, nudity, and we've put that up on OnlyFans. And if you go to Patreon and you sign up, we will give you a free month of OnlyFans and you can fuck with us.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to talk about the Telegram and all the other stuff you get. Just at least come and support us and watch us fuck. That should be enough. Lauren, where do they go? I don't even want to waste any more time on this.
Done. Go to room77life.com or go straight to patreon.com/room77 and sign up for any tier this month and we'll give you a free month.
Is that true?
No, I just made it up right now.
Oh.
Because you said a free month. So I'm just saying, yeah. Hell yeah. Let's do it. If you sign up for Patreon in May, I will give any tier $5 and up a free month of OnlyFans.
Okay. Well, feeling generous today. Awesome.
That's my begging voice.
All the people who just joined are going to be really pissed off. Tell those people who they are.
That would be Tim. Tim, Luis, and Missy, Camilo, Knoxville, MNC, David, Heedy, Fritz, PJ, Todd, Who's Your Doc, Travis, Mark C, Kevin, and Haywood.
Thank you all for supporting us and thank you for understanding how important it is for us to get through life and needing money.
To entertain you guys. That's what it's about.
Shit ain't free. Your first time as a full swap?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Did you know that going in? We're just jumping into the deep end.
The way it went down was we didn't realize that they had a hot wife dynamic going on.
Oh.
And so we had agreed that we were going to just soft swap. And then we communicated that. And then my Mrs. Newbie pipes up in front of everybody. Hey, well, if you want a full swap, just go ahead.
Under the bus.
Yeah, and I respond magnificently to those kinds of surprises.
Yes.
So it turned out all right, but it was so it wasn't really anything but a heads up on. It was an in the moment decision.
How long have you two been together as a couple?
19.
Yeah, 19
years.
Almost the exact same time together as Lauren and myself, except we've been together for 20, so we win. Not that it's a contest. After 19 years, what was the thing that made you go, yeah, let's start fucking other people?
Well, it wasn't on our radar at all.
We didn't even really know it was a thing. We thought maybe it was a made-up thing that people laughed about. But really, if I would have had said, do swingers exist? I would say no. Like, that's like a fictitious story that people tell. Like, yeah, sure, he
Tooth
exists.
fairy.
Like, in your imagination.
The catalyst was I just started thinking about, I had some things happen professionally that made me start thinking about regret in life. Making sure that I don't live a life with any regrets. That led into me finding some podcast content regarding swinging. And so our dynamic is such that normally whenever I present a new idea, it's normally met with a chunk of resistance.
I'm the brakes in the relationship.
So I presented some of this content. I was anticipating kind of a shutdown, maybe a divorce notice. It was What I wasn't anticipating was, wow, can we do this?
Oh.
I have FOMO. And so he had sent me a list of things that we could do to enhance our sex life, which we already had a good sex life, but we could do something to spice up. Let's spice up variety, do something different. And I was like, oh shoot, I must be, disappointing him or being apathetic about sex. And he was like, I'll send you an email. And I'll have a bunch of ideas, and you can just pick one of the ideas that you like. Super sweet, super kind. I'm like, oh, well, okay, let's do that. Sends me this email of podcasts we can listen to, Audible books, some raunchy stories we could listen to or something, porn or ideas or genres we can try new. And he goes, but by the way, I've already listened to these first 2 podcasts. And I was like, hold up. So then I'm feeling left out. I got to hurry up and listen. So I have an earbud in one ear where I'm trying to be a mom. I homeschool. I'm busy. And I've got swinging podcast in my one ear and like, hey mom, can I have a cookie? And I'm like screaming through trying to get all this content in. And then I'm like, is this a thing? We can do this? How did you find this?
Mr. Newbie, at this point when you're getting this reaction, are you like, score?
No, I'm not. I hadn't prepared myself for the reality that it might be met with positivity at all.
I mean, I made sure we did not have sex before we got married. I'm telling you, I am the brave.
Oh.
Yes. I'm like, the penis stays out of my vagina. We can do whatever else. But and so when I'm like, can we do this? I think he said something like, who stole my wife? Are you drugged?
Yeah, I was like,
what
alien abduction. You're a decoy. Bring my wife back right now. So I immediately start going into, okay, well, I think I want to do this, but let me just make sure.
I'm going to go out and test run it myself for
hey, man, I'm going to have to take this one out on my own here first, and I'll come back and let you know. I start just researching the shit out of the topic and trying to educate myself as much as I can to just minimize the downside. I went into this, I'll speak for myself, with just trepidation, like I don't want to mess up my marriage, I don't want to mess up my life. I just felt that I could mitigate that just with my education. So I spent a ton of time trying to really understand what the lifestyle was about, how it worked. After 2 weeks of intensive education, I concluded that this was an absolutely viable option for us in our marriage, and we decided to jump in.
That is a go for launch. That is a go for launch. All right, so you decide after your extensive research on Wikipedia, how long does it take after that for your first experience?
So 2 weeks of educating. We had Cassidy and SDC up within a week. We had our first date the week after that.
Jesus.
And then we had our first experience 2 weeks after that. So
Damn.
I am changing your name from Newbies to the most efficient swingers I've ever met in my life.
But it goes with his personality, which
really
is
does.
what I love so much. And I also wanted to just say to the Mrs. Newbie that your initial reaction when he brought it up, it's so important to not just pass right by that, because I think it is such a common reaction for us to be like, what are we doing wrong? And it's so not, it doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing wrong or what we're apathetic about. It's like, it's a whole new hobby. It's a whole new thing we can experience together. And it does take research and stuff. But I just wanted to say that reaction is so raw and so common that we hear it. We've heard that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, just to add to that, I mean, probably the most common reaction that you hear out of a wife or usually a wife is, am I not enough? And that always makes us really sad to think that someone feels like that when someone on the other side is. We know how the lifestyle feeling is. It has nothing to do with the lack of love, the lack of what someone is giving to you, but how much more you want to live life and how much more you want to enjoy life with your partner and how much more you want to share with your partner. And that is really hard for some people to wrap their heads around. So for you to react that way, just kudos to you. It really gives a good picture of who you are as a person. Thank you for that. And everybody should find you and give you money. If you have a Venmo.
We have a Patreon too, if it's okay.
No, you don't. No. It just goes straight to us.
Sorry, you can't advertise here. All right, next question. 5 months in, what are you thinking so far?
Loving it.
Yeah, right?
Just loving it.
I think I often wake up and be like, was that a dream or did I really do that? And then I look at my closet and I see what I wore the night before. I'm like, I guess I really did that.
Here's the evidence.
Or what I didn't wear the night before.
Enjoy these years while you're doing it in the beginning. There's an adrenaline rush and endorphins, a honeymoon period in the lifestyle that you will never be able to recapture, much like your own relationship when you were in your own honeymoon period and that point in your relationship when you just met. But there is a rush to it, almost drug-like, that will diminish over time. So enjoy it right now. Lauren has a question. She has her finger up.
Well, I
didn't even finish my sentence.
No, that's why I'm raising my hand.
And that's all I have to say. Lauren, do you have a question?
Well, thank you, Richard. No, I was going to say I don't love the word diminish because I think it's more about a morphing. It will evolve into...
Not a diminishing.
Yeah, it's not like the honeymoon diminishes. It's just, it morphs into a different level. Like we have developed these amazing friendships and things that we in the beginning were doing different things that we wanted it to be more one time and not repeat. And now we've morphed into a different level. So it is a great period, but so is the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. Back to you, Richard.
Okay. There are other benefits that you get out of it, but there is also a part of it that you will never, ever get back again.
Exactly. But it's not that's...
Yes, there are replacements to it. There are other things that you gain out of it, but I'm saying there are some specific excitements out of it that you will never get. My first time doing X.
Right.
Not X, if X was a drug, but like my first time doing...
like your first threesome,
first whatever.
Yeah.
Some of those were really, really exciting.
Yeah.
I don't want to overcomplicate it. And again, like Lauren said, I'm jaded and I'm just trying to say, enjoy and embrace where you are right now.
How long does that stage last in your
years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, years.
I mean, at your speed, it may be like months.
I'm going to burn it out after about 9 months here.
You've researched it all.
Well, did that. I can retire now.
Tick, 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 tick the box.
You're in the dog years of swingers. So you've asked us some really interesting questions. When I first saw you, I was like, this guy looks really dumb. That was my first impression.
I get that all the time.
That's so funny.
I saw him and I was like,
oh, bless his heart.
Dumb as a bag of hammers.
Yeah, we're going to have to dumb it down.
Turns out, very smart, very articulate. Same goes with Mrs. Newbie. Very smart, very well spoken. Apparently, they know left from right. So you've asked us some interesting questions. What is a question that has happened to you recently that has come up in the lifestyle that has made you go, is this something? Because that is something common for newbies to be like, oh, that wasn't covered in the brochure.
Something that did come up recently was we'd heard this now from a couple of different couples where they were describing this scenario where they have kind of a closed loop of play friends that they don't wear protection with.
And it comes up because they say, do you have any rules? And we're like, actually, not many. Oh, yes. Condoms always. And then that introduces this idea of like, oh, yeah, we do condoms.
But we're also kind of looking for this. So there's never been any pressure for us to not wear protection. And we always were right clear that for us, at least this stage, like we're pretty committed to that. It started to, in our minds, think, hey, is this a thing? Is it kind of the holy grail getting to a place where you got people that you just don't use protection?
You got these 3 couples or these 5 couples or these group that they within themselves don't use condoms, but then they play outside of that group, you wear condoms.
And I couldn't really get clear on like how you'd get a system going where there would just be a lot of assurance that unless you're like purely exclusive, which again, we're not really interested in purely exclusive. So
another great question.
Thank
well
you.
Thought out, well articulated. Great question. The truth is, in our experience, is always our experience. Yeah, it does exist. Now, there's a really big taboo out there about talking about or even doing or having unprotected sex out there. The last thing anybody wants to do or talk about, especially talk about out there in the world, is unprotected sex. You ask anybody, do you or did you ever have unprotected sex? No. Nope, never.
Not us.
Not us. Don't do it.
We
always condom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it. It is out there and it does exist. And I understand the groups that you're talking about. We have also been in these, and I'm putting them in quotes, but you can't see because we're on the podcasty thing. We have also been in these circles of trusted groups. But here's the way we look at it. And we are definitely not innocent in that we have never, ever, that we have always played protected. We are not innocent. However, whenever you're put in a situation, and this goes for anybody, whenever you're put in a situation where someone's trying to pitch you an idea of, we're going to play without protection. Because let's be honest, condoms suck. They suck for her. They suck for guys. They just suck. And it's just less fun. Holy Grail, great word for it. As safe as you want to be, it comes down to you. Only you are making the decision for you and your partner. That's it. You should never, under any circumstance, leave it to anybody else. So you are taking that risk yourself. Doesn't matter what they tell you. Doesn't matter how many times they say they have done something, how many times they said they got tested. I don't care if they got tested
a week ago. It doesn't really matter.
There is absolutely no way that you can trust the words that are coming out of people's mouths ever. What risk are you willing to take with you and your family? That's it.
Did anyone go out and cheat during that group? I don't know. They don't live in my house.
You have to say to yourself, am I willing to wake up a week from now, a month, and go, I think I have gonorrhea. And then go to the hospital and get that treated, or worse, have herpes or something that you can't cure. Then tell everyone that you were with that, hey, this is what happened that night, and this is what I have. I don't know if you're affected or you're not, but this is what happened. I don't know where I got it. I don't know if that answered your question.
Put it in short terms. You recommend bareback. Is that
go bareback, and then you murder them and you bury them in your backyard. It keeps everyone safe.
And that's how you lifestyle, kids. That's how you lifestyle.
Well, I mean, we've had it to where, people are like, I use dental dams. Do you have dental dams? I'll only blow you with a condom. Like, I mean, some people are really like hardcore, and Richard's like, okay, if you're only blowing with a condom, then you're not blowing me, because that's not how I roll.
Yes.
So, you can blow the condom.
Or you can just go with anal.
Yeah, because you can't catch anything with anal.
Yeah. It's I learned that in biology.
Yes,
that's how it works. Something about the anal glands.
That kills everything back there.
There's a lot of layers to it, but
I think you were going to say but with the whole concept of it, there's really just take some penicillin. Were you going to go down that road or something?
Well, yeah. I mean, no one's dying of syphilis anymore. No one is dying of gonorrhea. I mean, these things are curable. It's not the end of the world to me anyway. And this is me from the outside looking in. It really has this stigma. Again, opinion. This is where everybody takes their radio and kicks it in the car.
We'll be right back.
All right, Lauren, we need to pause for the number one selling bikini of 2022, 2023, and what looks like to be 2024 and 2025.
It's amazing.
It is amazing because those stats are true. Now, what I heard is this new campaign, Bikini.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's an acronym, and I don't think that people really understood that Bikini of Bikini Addiction stands for because I know I need it.
Because I know I need it.
Yeah.
Because I know I need a bikini addiction bikini. That is something an addict would say.
That's what they do say.
Because I know I need it. Well, why? Because I know I need it. And this is something that is revolutionary with bikini addiction. They have sewn into the fabric an addictive drug that releases dopamine into the system. And the more you wear it, the better you feel.
Serotonin.
Yeah, it just releases serotonin, dopamines into the system, and it never runs out. And it keeps you feeling good. This is also a true story. We had just released the 77 bikini, the little 77 bikini. We just got a story back where there was a woman and she was at a vanilla resort and she had the 77 bikini on, and a person had recognized it and they said, hey, you know what's up. And this person, who had otherwise hadn't had any real sexual adventures in his life, wound up in an orgy that night for the first time. This is true. You can check it on ChatGPT. This is true. So tell these people where they can get it because they need it, and how they too can go to vanilla resorts. By the way, these people did have kids with them. They put them in that little play area.
That's right.
And they went to town.
We'll be back later to pick you up.
Yeah, enjoy that slide. There's a lifeguard. Have fun. Mommy and Daddy's got some slipping and sliding to do of their own. It's a true story. Again, type it all into Chat GPT, tell me what it says. I want to know what the answer is.
Because I know I need it, I'm going to make you go over to bikiniaddiction.com and use our promo code to save 10%, promo code room77, and support us at the same time.
And make sure to check out those Room 77 bikinis. They're super hot and they will get you super laid.
The link for the 77 bikini is on our website, room77life.com.
Back to the show. It's about that housewife walking into their doctor and saying, I have gonorrhea. And having to explain that becomes the worst thing someone can think of. I think there's a lot of layers to it that just make it more than yeah.
Yeah, the shame component is kind of what you're talking about. You go in and you got like an infection and a cut on my foot. I don't hesitate, but I might hesitate.
Right.
Feel terrible if I'm going in talking to my primary.
Especially in a small town. If you have the ambiguity of a large town, you can just go to a different urgent care, a different doctor that doesn't know you. You don't go to your primary care.
Mm-hmm.
But it's people do that math in their head. They're like, if I get something, what the hell would I do? Go into Dr. Stevenson and tell him I got the clap? I can't do that. He's 75. He's going to be like, how the hell did you get the clap? This is medically impossible, Karen.
He knows my family.
Yeah.
He sits next to me in church.
So,
we used to get tested and do our full blood panel with our primary care physician. We were like, we wanted all AIDS, everything. Just do the full panel. And he would just nod.
Yeah, but we're in the middle of Los Angeles.
Yeah, just like...
We probably had sex with our doctor. Who knows? I don't even remember.
That's not true.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's, again...
Is it as bad as people make it out to be going bareback? It's not going to kill you, but is it shameful and is it uncool still in the LS world? Yeah, it is.
We're not condoning go out there and have bareback sex, but I don't think you're going to get the truth out of anybody when no one is going to say, yeah, we do it.
Yeah.
No one.
We've never asked. All three couples offered it. Just saying that we use condoms. They're like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And we have it sometimes. We're like, okay.
If you didn't want to use them, I'm saying that's an option too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like if you had accidentally left them in your car, I wouldn't make you go out and get them.
Walk all the way to your car.
There are a lot of things that this lifestyle community is going to tell you is right and it's wrong. And they're right in that they say that you should use protection because it is protecting all of us in a way. However, there are also diseases or infections, HPV. You don't need to be penetrated to catch HPV. I mean, there's a vaccination for it now. That's going to be eradicated off the face of the earth in the next generation or two. There's oral gonorrhea, an oral type of herpes. There's a lot of different ways to catch a lot of different things. So it's such a slippery slope of, where do you personally draw that line? And the responsibility comes down to you as a person. If you have something, you should not be playing unprotected, or you should not be playing when you have an outbreak.
Yeah, period.
Period. If you are clean and you're clean and you are a good person, you should be able to make decisions as a clean adult and do whatever the fuck you want with another consenting adult. Someone ultimately is always someone's going to fuck that up.
The only thing I would add is that if that is your true belief system, like a hard line for you, like there would be, you don't ever change that mid-game. Like that's a real hard argument waiting to happen. Like, no, we said no condoms. And then I turn around and there you are fucking her without a condom on. And I thought that was our rule. And it's like that. I've seen that before as well.
You have? What husband was that with?
You.
I've done that.
You.
We talked about it on an episode.
Oh.
I mean, not that it was like.
One time I lost my condom inside someone and I didn't know it. I just remember, wow, it feels really good right now.
Wow, sex just got a lot better here. What happened?
I'm so sensitive.
What brand is this?
Oh, it's invisible.
It doesn't matter what kind of clique group or cult they have. It just ultimately someone in that pact is lying. They just are,
Everyone wants to put on a good face, but not everyone's an angel.
Or they don't know. I mean, they've got something, but the gap between getting it and the test that shows the thing is
one couple said they get tested once a year. I'm like, once a year?
Yeah, there's just time that it takes for these to show. But I've also read all these. Most of this stuff is very treatable. The horror stories that we grew up at the picture shows in 7th grade. And
herpes barely made it in as a venereal disease. That's how weak it is.
Well, it's because chicken pox is a type of herpes, and so is shingles.
Yeah.
And so is a cold sore. They're all herpes.
Yeah.
Only made it in because of heavy campaigning, actually. By
the big pharma?
I believe so. I can't remember what the uproar was, but it was so weak that they were like, we cannot add this. This is like the most ridiculous. This is barely anything, but they added it anyway. There's this huge, like, disgusting campaign against it. So it's a lot weaker than people think.
Oh, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I've always been terrified of herpes.
That was the campaign.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, that's the campaign. It really is.
That took me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was like terrified of it.
Yeah, that's because you indoctrinated and how bad it was. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And then we as a generation lived through the terror of AIDS, and we as a generation still, I think, feel that fear of sex and death. It's still there, I think, in our heads a little bit. This is in the 80s, right? I'm not trying to lighten it at all. And I'm not trying to say it's nothing to worry about and you shouldn't protect other people. I'm just saying that it's completely up to you as long as your partner's safe, keep other people safe. If you do have something.
That's why they changed it from STD to STIs. Disease is, we think, incurable, like cancer, and infection is, I have, a cold. I have
a sinus infection.
I have a sinus infection. I have a pink eye infection, something that I take antibiotics, and they actually, by changing it to infection, it doesn't sound as...
They wanted to destigmify it.
Right, where you can just take a pill and it'll go away. Please treat it and get rid of it.
Yes.
Well, they call alcoholism a disease.
Yeah, because you can't take a pill for it.
I've got an alcohol infection.
I have it every Friday.
Got a serious alcohol infection.
I have a Coke infection.
Yeah. And, no one brought up having protected sex and swinger babies, though. That's just was off the table. No one brought up like, well, I'm wearing a condom, so I don't have a swinger baby. It was just all about infection.
Let's walk our way into abortions, Lauren. That's what I always wanted to talk about on Room 77. Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're just another infection.
How old is your infection? It's only like 4 weeks. Get it out!
It's in its first trimester.
A birthday celebration for my infection this weekend.
That's fucked up.
We only had time for one question. I apologize for that, but we're going to have to come back and ask you another question, I guess. Richard and Lauren and the Newbies, instead of talking about abortions, which is what Lauren wanted to do, I'm going to end this conversation now. And we will talk to you guys later. All right.
I'm sweating.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Have fun having sex out there. And we'll talk to you later. Peace out. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Not you, muchacho.
My skin's on fire. Oh, 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 oh. On fire. Oh, 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 oh. My skin's on fire. Oh, 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 oh.
All right, Lauren, that is about it. That's actually not about it because I still have 40 minutes of those Q&As left.
I know it is, though.
I know. We're going to play them at another time. We're going to get through them. I promise.
We're just going to keep the people tuned in.
Keeping people tuned in really quick before I get on to the complaints that I want to. This is a little bit of therapy for me. Really quick. Toronto, tell them about the X Club.
Come join us for a one-night stand June 9th or 6-9 in Toronto at the X Club, and we will be there partying it up. Dance it up with us. We got some special stuff. We're giving away bikinis. We're giving away underwear. I mean, my underwear. I'm going to wear the bikini and throw it in the audience. It's going to be fun.
I'm going to give away my underwear too. I actually crapped in it, and we're gonna actually auction that off. But we're gonna have special DJs there. We're gonna have some dancers there. We're gonna have a special thing there that I don't really want to announce yet. We're gonna have a lot of time. But just to remind everybody, we are only there Friday night, June 9th. We are there Friday night. So make sure if you want to see us, be there Friday night.
Otherwise, we'll be at Niagara Falls.
Jumping off. And also, Sensation in October. Make sure to go get your ticket.
Yeah, we have like 2 or 3 rooms left. Go and grab those last spots and come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun on Isla Mujeres. We look forward to seeing you, or just reach out if you have any questions.
Who doesn't want to get naked with us in October? If you don't want to get naked with us in October in a tropical paradise, I don't even want you listening anymore. Just turn it off now. Doesn't really matter. It's the end of the show anyway. But here are my complaints, and I'm going to talk about this on another episode. I think I'm going to dedicate maybe an entire episode to this. I actually was at the gym today, and I was thinking about something else, and now I'm getting sidetracked. But I was thinking about 2 things. I was thinking about flakes, and the other thing I was thinking about, I can't remember. But I was thinking about flakes and how many times we've been flaked on just in the past month or 2. We are, I think, 0 for 5. That's true. That's how bad it is.
Asa reached out and wanted to give us an award.
Yeah, for most flaked on couple. I mean, the amount of people that have flaked on us that said, hey, we're coming down. And these include people that we don't know. These include actual friends. I have had it up to my fucking head with flakes in the lifestyle. And what I found, and this is just a PSA that I'm required to give, AmericasSwingersAssociation.com, that most of these people that do flake, I've found, are not really in the lifestyle. They have about one toe in, or they are not in touch with the lifestyle at all. And it annoys the F out of me. It really does, because you're talking and you're dealing with people who don't have an emotional connection to anything. They're so selfishly in it for something else that the emotions don't exist for them,
right?
Because they're in it for such a narcissistic reason. And this could be that single douchebag guy who is off trying to get his rocks off for whatever reason, that you are literally one step above a prostitute, or your friends who are like, I want to have a wild and crazy night once a year, but we're not in the lifestyle. And their emotions aren't involved in it enough that they talk to you like they're in the lifestyle, but they're not. And they don't understand the difference between language and friendship and expectations
and empathy for others who are on the other side of those words that you're saying.
And I'll end with this, just in the last week, and I kid you not, we got a message on one of these sites, and we're not always sending out messages to these people. We got a message from someone who was like, hey, we are huge fans of your podcast, and we would fucking die if we could see you while we're there. And we were like, all right, what's up? And they said, this is where we're doing. Could you do it? And we're like, yeah, what's up?
What's up?
One night they reached out and they were like, hey, we're down the street. Do you think you could stop by for a drink? But we're really dirty and on our way home from something. And we're like, no. That wasn't the plan. That's not how you framed it, first of all. We're not a watering hole. And then they were like, all right, yeah, we're having this party at our place. Again, huge fans, a lot of respect here. The next text I got is, hey, do you know a topless resort we could go to tomorrow? You mean the only day left that we had to get together? Sure.
Oh, hold on. Let me put my travel agent hat on and I'll put my swinger hat down.
Hold on. Let me help you avoid me more. Sure. Here you go. And poof, gone. Never heard from them again. Never heard from them.
Did they sign up for Patreon?
No.
Oh, they're not huge fans.
No, they're not huge fans. They're huge fans of the thought of things. PSA out there: if you're one of these assholes who flakes on people, stop it. Stop it. People have lives, and most importantly, they have feelings that are attached to these messages. Don't you understand? It makes people feel like shit. Because you're making a list out there with other options does not mean that your flakiness goes unfelt on the other side. Okay? So just stop it, you asshole. Ooh, you know what? I feel better.
That's so good.
I do. I feel better.
It's like making a big poopy.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
You feel so much better.
Oh my God. I have to go after that.
Sorry. Bye, everybody.
All right. I have to go. I have to discuss some things with you. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go leave a positive review.
Or for more information, go to room77life.com.
Thanks for stopping by Room 77.
We had a blast.
Now get your clothes and get out.
Heart beats a line, right in time. broken, and even if the sky would fall and flames are getting closer. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. My skin's on fire. Oh, 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 oh. On fire. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. My skin's on fire. Oh, 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 oh. My skin's on fire. Oh, 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 oh. My skin's on fire. Cause tonight we lose it all. We let go. It's something in the way you move that makes me do things I've never done. Yeah, tonight we lose it all. I'm broken.